Welcome to Cruise News, your daily update on everything happening at sea. Visit cruisenews.io to see today's stories and sign up for email alerts.
So today we're going to be tracking how new cruise options, holiday deals, and some pretty major changing home port choices are actively shaping future vacation planning.
Right. It is a very busy news day. We have three main stories on the briefing today.
Uh,
First, we will look at MSC Cruises rolling out a new July 4th sail and some very specific onboard programming for its U.S. home ports.
yeah, and then we're going to look at MSC's deployment shifts over in Southampton for 2027 and 2028.
Exactly. And finally, we will cover Margaritaville at sea welcoming its 1 millionth guest, all while securing a major berthing agreement down at PortMiami.
Well, let's just jump right into that first story. MSC Cruises has officially launched a July 4 sale for their U.S. home ports.
Okay, so what are the actual details on that?
Right, so the discounts are pretty aggressive. It is 40% off cruises plus children sail free.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and on top of that, there is a direct discount of $250 off U.S. home port sailings.
That is a substantial push for the domestic market.
It is. And concurrently, MSC is also extending its Epic Europe sale beyond its original June 23 deadline.
Yeah.
That one is offering $600 off Mediterranean and Northern Europe cruises.
So they are really pushing on both fronts right now. But looking closely at the U.S. side of things, they are pairing this sale with some highly targeted onboard holiday programming.
Yes, specifically designed around America's 250th anniversary.
Right. And the schedule they released for this is, well, it's extensive. They are planning red, white, and blue parties, branded photo settings, flag giveaways, and even U.S.-themed trivia.
Yeah, they're leaning all the way in.
They really are. And the movie schedule they released for this programming is basically a quintessential American marathon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're showing Top Gun.
Yep. Top Gun, Forrest Gump, and Saving Private Ryan.
It is a very specific cultural curation. But the food and beverage menus are where they are making the most operational changes for the holiday.
I saw that. So in the main dining room, the entrees are going to include Southern-style fried chicken and a slow-roasted prime rib.
Followed by a specific America's 250th dessert.
And the buffet items are even more hyper-localized, right?
Yeah, the buffet list is long.
Yeah.
They are doing hot honey fried chicken, beer brats, smoked pulled pork.
Can't forget the Chicago hot dogs.
Right, Chicago hot dogs, Mississippi mud pie, New York cheesecake bites, and Kentucky bourbon bites.
That is quite the spread for a European cruise line. Now, looking at the beverage side, I noticed they listed 5 specialty holiday drinks for this.
Yes, they did.
There is the American Colada, the Stars and Spritz, the Stargarita, Uncle Sam's Sangria, and the Freedom Fizz. Do we have any factual details on what actually goes into these themed beverages?
No. MSC has not released the ingredients for the specialty drinks yet. We just have the operational names at this point.
Got it. So let's run through the overlapping itineraries because you have to be on one of 5 specific sailings to actually get this July 4 programming.
Right, and it covers quite a bit of geography.
Yeah.
First to the MSC Seascape.
And that one departs Galveston on June 28th. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a 7-night Western Caribbean sailing going to Costa Maya, Roatan, and Cozumel. And that ship will actually spend July 4 at sea.
Okay, what is the second one?
The MSC Poesia. She departs Seattle on June 29 for a 7-night Alaska itinerary.
Calling it Ketchikan, Juneau, Icy Strait Point, and Victoria.
Yes. And it is worth noting here that 2026 is MSC Cruises' first year sailing in Alaska.
Right, so that's a big inaugural season for them. Then the third vessel is the MSC Seashore.
Departing Port Canaveral on June 28. This is a 7-night cruise to Nassau, Cozumel, and Costa Maya.
And on this one, they will actually be spending July 4 at Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve.
Yeah, their private island.
Yeah.
Fourth on the list is the MSC Seaside, which is a Miami-based July 3 Bahamas departure.
So they will be in Nassau on July 4 and then Ocean Cay.
Right. And finally, there is the MSC World America.
Which departs Miami directly on July 4.
Exactly. That one is a 7-night Western Caribbean to Roatan, Costa Maya, Cozumel, and Ocean Cay, returning on July 11th.
Now, just to clarify for everyone planning, MSC has not clarified the full departure date window for these menus and activities, correct?
That is correct. We know it overlaps the holiday, but the exact start and end dates for the onboard rollout haven't been specified.
Okay, good to know. Well, let's shift gears from the U.S. home ports over to Europe because MSC is making some major home port shifts in Southampton and Northern Europe.
They really are. This is a massive deployment strategy for the UK market.
Yeah.
The anchor news here is that the MSC Meraviglia is going to stay in the UK cruise market for a second season in 2028.
And that includes 21 Southampton departures, right?
Yes, 21 departures covering the Norwegian fjords, Northern Europe, France, Spain, Portugal, the Canary Islands, and Morocco.
That is a huge footprint. And just to give some context on the vessel itself, the Meraviglia is a massive piece of hardware.
It is.
It operates at 171,598 gross tons. It has 2,214 staterooms, a maximum passenger capacity of 5,642, and it was built in 2017 as the lead vessel in its class.
Right, so putting a ship of that scale in Southampton for multiple seasons is a very clear statement about their capacity goals there.
Absolutely, and they are really tailoring the 2028 schedule. There's one featured sailing that stands out, the 7-night British Isles cruise departing June 10th, 2028.
Oh, yes. The calls for that one are Cherbourg, Cork, Liverpool, Belfast, and Greenock.
But what makes it unique is that the cruise is planned entirely around the football championship.
Yeah, so the ship will feature live match streams and themed entertainment throughout the voyage.
That is smart programming. But to get to 2028, we need to look at the 2027 deployment switch, right?
Exactly. The Meraviglia officially takes over this route when it arrives in Southampton on May 18th, 2027.
Okay.
And that starts a 6-month deployment of 6 to 14-night cruises, plus some longer itineraries down to Ibiza, Tangier, and Gibraltar.
And by moving the Meraviglia in, they are officially replacing the MSC Virtuosa in that market.
Right. Which means the Virtuosa has to go somewhere else.
So where is it going?
MSC Virtuosa will move to a full Western Mediterranean season for the summer of 2027. And MSC is supporting that move with fly cruise packages from regional airports.
Okay.
Actually, Antonio Paradiso, who's the VP of International Sales, had a quote about this shift.
What did he say?
He said, "We're seeing strong demand from UK customers for Mediterranean cruises, so having the MSC Virtuosa there for summer 2027 is a natural fit for us."
That makes a lot of sense. And these shifts aren't just for the summer. Let's look at the winter deployments, specifically the MSC Preziosa.
Right, so the Preziosa, which is a 2013-built 3,500 passenger ship, will be stepping in to replace the MSC Poesia for the 2026 to 2027 winter season.
And that runs from late October 2026 to April 2027, calling in France, Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands.
Yes. And then its broader Northern Europe program for the winter of 2027 to 2028 uses Hamburg, Rotterdam, Le Havre, and Zeebrugge.
So with all these newly announced 2027 and 2028 deployments, when can vacationers actually secure spots on these itineraries?
The bookings for the new 2027 MSC Meraviglia and MSC Virtuosa itineraries are scheduled to open on October 14th, 2025.
Okay, October 14th, 2025. So, moving from these strategic European deployments, let's look closer to home in South Florida. Margaritaville at Sea is making some major expansion news.
They're having a very big week. On June 25, Margaritaville at Sea welcomed its 1 millionth guest.
Wow, 1 million.
Yeah, they held a presentation aboard the Margaritaville at Sea Islander to mark the occasion.
And to put that in perspective, their operations only began in May 2022.
Right, with just the Paradise sailing out of the Port of Palm Beach.
And then they expanded in June 2024 with the Islander out of Port Tampa Bay. So to hit 1 million guests already is a rapid trajectory.
It really is, and that momentum is leading directly to their next edition. In January 2027, they are adding the Margaritaville at Sea Beachcomber to the fleet.
And currently, that vessel is sailing as the Coast of Fortuna, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's run through the vessel stats for the Beachcomber. It operates at 102,669 gross tons. It is Fincantieri built, entered service in 2003, and it carries 2,702 passengers at double occupancy with a maximum of 3,470.
Right. But obviously, to turn a Costa ship into a Margaritaville ship, they are doing a massive overhaul.
Right, a multi-million-pound refurbishment.
Yes. The work is being done by Rathbane Group companies MJM Marine and Milan.
And the specific areas they are tackling are pretty extensive. They are redoing the central atrium, the spa, the children's facilities, the specialty dining, the nightclub, the VIP areas, and of course adding a flip-flop bar.
Right. It wouldn't be Margaritaville without the flip-flop bar. They are also bringing in 3 original production shows: the Saint Somewhere Spa and Salon, the Fins Up Fitness Center, and the Permanent Reminder Tattoo Studio.
So it will be a full brand conversion.
Absolutely. The CEO, Chris Variety, put it this way: Beachcomber represents an important next step for Margaritaville at Sea as we continue expanding the fleet and investing in the guest experience across our ships.
Now, a new ship needs a place to dock. And this leads us to the PortMiami berthing agreement, which is a massive piece of this story.
Right. A Miami-Dade County committee just advanced a 5-year preferential berthing agreement for the Beachcomber at Terminal C.
Which is incredibly rare. This is the port's first such agreement with a new cruise line in 7 years.
Yeah, space at PortMiami is highly competitive.
And the economic figures tied to this deal are significant. It covers about 170 port visits over the 5 years.
Right, and it projects a positive $23.15 million impact.
That is a major financial anchor for both the port and the cruise line.
It is. Kyle Anderson, their chief commercial officer, noted their growth to over 20 destinations and said, "I can think of no better place to homeport our new flagship vessel, the Margaritaville, at Sea Beachcomber."
Now, looking at the logistics of this conversion, we know the Costa Fortuna is scheduled to remain in Costa service through the summer.
Right.
And then it enters a 12-week dry dock in late September 2026. Do we have the factual details on where this massive conversion will actually take place?
No, the specific shipyard for the conversion has not been disclosed yet.
Okay, we will have to keep an eye out for that announcement.
Definitely. If you look at all three of these stories today, there is a very clear theme.
Yeah.
We are seeing how heavily major lines are investing in future capacity.
Right.
Whether it's MSC securing multi-season European footholds in Southampton or Margaritaville locking down 5 years of real estate at PortMiami, these moves are giving travelers far more concrete, long-term options for their vacation planning.
It is all about securing the future chessboard. And it really makes you wonder, as these lines invest so heavily in these hyper-specific, localized experiences, whether it's an American holiday blowout or a dedicated UK football cruise, will generic one-size-fits-all cruising even exist in 5 years? Or is every ship going to become a highly curated, hyper-localized experience for a very specific type of traveler? Something to think about as you map out your next few years of travel. Thanks for listening to Cruise News. Visit cruisenews.io to catch up on the latest updates and sign up for free email alerts.